up down across the street on the building. Secret Service is counting windows to try to figure out who's moving. Minutes ago. The banner says, "Vote peace, fire Bush." That one up there that's blowing in the wind. Yay! George Bush is making an appearance here today at the Mayflower Hotel, and CODEPINK is here to give him a pink slip to say, "You're fired, the people vote you out." And me and my friend Jamie are just here to say, stop nation building, and we want the U.S. out of the Middle East, the whole Middle East, not just part of it. We were actually in the lobby earlier, but we were kicked out because we looked suspicious. Because I had a CODEPINK button on and I was drinking a cup of coffee, and they wouldn't let me finish my coffee in the lounge.
Officer Vic. There? Okay. Okay, listen. I want to let you guys know there's a law in the District of Columbia. It's called incommoding. And that's when 3 or more people are gathered on. Wait. No. Okay, listen. Okay. If you want to say it's 25, I'm telling you that I know it to be 3. Okay? Wait. We're not going to argue about it. But the
Good morning. Hey, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right.
A path to cross and a way to get. You're going to make me real happy, okay? Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Power to the people. Did you just have to be wrong? Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people right now. Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Impeach Bush for war crimes. Impeach inside telling lies. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who will we incarcerate? Bush, Cheney, and Bush. Get inside, folks. Come right on into the War Criminals Hotel. Mayflower, house of the war criminals. George Bush inside, folks. Talking about the war on terror. War criminals. War criminals.
Can I get behind you?
Please tell us who you are and why you're here so far from home here in D.C.
My name is Tina Richards. My son is a U.S. Marine, has done 2 tours in Iraq. He came back after his 2nd tour completely broken. He was honorably discharged, received his Presidential Unit Citation. And I've spent the last 1.5 years trying to save my son's by keeping him from killing himself with what he lives with every day with what happened over there in Iraq. He served it with the last war was Fallujah, and the terrible things that happened there to the innocent Iraqi people, something he tries to struggle with every day to see if he even wants to live. That's what prompted me to get involved in the peace movement. I've been working out in the Midwest to make sure that the words of George Bush and the rest of the warmongers are challenged, that they don't just get a free pass anymore in the Midwest. And then we found out that the Marine Mobilization Unit called him last Monday after the January 27th peace march, and that they are going to mobilize him back for a third tour in Iraq. I was already here for the Congressional Advocacy Days, so I decided that I needed to stay here to do whatever I could and talk to these people that are going to be voting on whether to fund this war for another 2 years and let George Bush continue to slaughter our troops and the innocent Iraqi people through his policies. So right now what I'm doing is going every day onto the Capitol and talking with these lawmakers. I've already met with several of them and let them know how much this hurts our children. And that's why I'm here, sleeping on a couch in Maryland. Just recently had to get my daughter, because she couldn't be without me for that long, for the next 7 weeks, just trying to stop the funding of this war so that families like myself can actually, after 4 years, maybe we can start to get back to a life.
I used to have a little blank pink square that I left on the hotel bed that must have got picked up. We could write one word thing like,
Off and have a car in there on the sidewalk. So we're gonna hop right out and then drive away.
this would like to write the word shame.
There's a powerful image in our video where there's a woman in a black shroud in front of the White House, and she has a lead written on the black shroud, shame.
Shameful. It's just shameful. No soul. Oh my God, I just can't believe anything. It's just not American. It's just not American at all.
Hey, hon, I was just calling to see how you're making the roads. We did the banner. So we're just waiting for you to come out so we can do a banner. And it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, of tax dollars, so that he can talk to the cronies
To the same people
who led us to war.
It's
disgusting.
What the hell does he have to say to those same people? It's like
At our expense.
at our expense, preaching to the choir of warmongers.
And these policemen are waiting for a 2% raise in their salaries for inflation. Just sitting here being duped.
And the weird thing is that there doesn't seem to be any power to stop him. That is the weirdest thing. I mean, he can do this. Nobody's stopping him. But
We made some efforts on November 7th, and there's little efforts in Congress now. It's moving.
if you don't want to pay your taxes,
And most people in this country can't stand him anymore,
no,
so.
they can't. But they're not willing to take huge stands like not paying your
Well,
taxes.
it's what the policeman said. Well, I hope it worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, hope is not enough. Action is what we need.
And most of them, you know what? That's why they don't listen to the news or what's going on, because they can't. They feel that they're powerless and they don't want to know.
Yeah. Well, that was a good action. We
It
got
was
our
very
pink
nice.
slip out. We did
Very
our
nice.
little protest to say this guy's a war
The first
criminal.
thing the policeman said
What?
in the street.
But
I'm with you.
Uh-huh.
We're all
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
And all he wanted was us to keep the sidewalk open.
Right. They all, even the people at the
did you see
hotel.
what the one at the hotel who was cleaning when we walked by? She go,
Yes, I know. Yeah.
yeah, she was very nice.
I said, we didn't leave much messy. Furniture a little rearranged.
Where's
Okay, so we want to.
Barbara and Nancy?
Who wants some
George Bush in the White House, in the Mayflower, war criminal! Stop you lawyers into Iran! Impeach the lawyer! Impeach the lawyer!
Troops home now!
Troops home now!
Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now! Troops home now!
Defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign or domestic. We ask patriots to stand up and live that faith.
Right on, amen! Now! Troops home 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 now!
Club them, down. So the Grannies for Peace brigades are real good. Like they've done stuff like tried to join the military, gone in a recruitment office and saying, "Join me up." Don't send our boys, join me up. And then they kick them out, arrest them and stuff. So we got so a lot of these groups work together. Grannies for Peace, CODEPINK, Iraq Veterans Against the War are really good boys because they're the guys that come back. They know what's up. And one of the important things we need to do now is start teaching our children and the next generation about the truth of war. It's not all flag waving bullshit. There's laws involved, and like I was trying to tell that Secret Service agent, like some of us have sworn a vow on the Bible, whatever, to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign or domestic. Yeah, that son of a bitch is in direct violation of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Geneva Conventions, taking away many of the rights out of the Bill of Rights. Like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights are not on the table. We're not here negotiating with our rights. These are birthrights for our children to have these rights. We don't even have the right to negotiate any of our rights. As American citizens, all of our rights we're keeping. If anything, we're here for more rights, not less of them. So when they want to open our mail and tap and phone, all these are direct violations of the Constitution, clearly. They are using the Constitution in this war of terror. It's not a war on terror, it's a war of terror against us. Make us afraid, and they give up our freedoms, agree to funding these massive wars. You know what? Sitting back thinking Big Daddy's making it safe. No, the Constitution's here to protect us, and the Constitution's here to protect us from tyrants. That son of a bitch in the White House that has no respect for the Constitution. Under the Constitution, the only time in which we are allowed to make war as a nation is if the Constitution itself is under attack. It's the only person that's under attack is from the people who are taking our rights. Domestic enemy is who we have. Domestic enemy. I mean, Bush is just a figurehead, symbolic of a much bigger problem. He's an idiot. He chokes on a pretzel, can't open doors right and stuff. Don't even worry about Bush. We need to impeach Cheney first, because we got to get Cheney out of the way. These are the guys that are in the background. Bush just says God and country and kill the terrorists and go shopping. Or Cheney's back there kind of manipulating stuff. So the Constitution, to me, I still have faith in our democracy and in our constitutional democracy that we might be able to. Now here's the test of the whole test of the Constitution is now to see if it has the cojones to protect itself by impeaching the president. See, that wouldn't be a failure for America. That would be a great victory. And we could show the rest of the world that, see, the Constitution works and democracy works even in America. See, and the best way, I'm all for democracy if it can work, but the best way that we can spread it is by example. Not by, laser-guided democracy bombs or something. In fact, that works against our case for democracy versus work. Because anything that if that's democracy, I don't want it. Democracy is often associated with an airstrike or landmines and things. They're not thinking about freedom and power of the people. So I'm all for democracy. I'd like to see it succeed and protect itself by impeachment. And then, but now the cowardly Democrats, Pelosi said impeachment is off the table. It's not even to be discussed, which is a gross violation of her responsibility to the Constitution to not press for peace. It shows her cowardice and it shows her lack of commitment to the Constitution, because it's not optional. Maybe we'll impeach, maybe we won't. It's a war criminal. Okay, like if you go out like committing war crimes, you need to be indicted. This is how we can prove that our system works. And we would be a hero to the world, and the American way would shine even brighter if we would take care of our own war criminals. Like even Israel, as bad as that is, and not even talking about the geopolitics involved around it, even them just indicted the president on rape charges. No one's above the law. The president thinks, and has said as much, that by the mere act of him doing it makes it legal. No one's above the law. Just because you do something does not automatically mean it's legal. You have to operate within the confines of the law, especially the president. So what we're trying to do is raise consciousness in congressional offices, put pressure on people in their home state, here, in the media, in every single way that we can, to get people, to get the Democrats to stand up, have a little bit of spine, and demand that our Constitution be upheld as it's written. We don't have to make up new laws and new crazy shit. Just as it is, as it's written, to take care of all this mess.
Well, I mean, one of the things, to me, it seems like is on the table as far as the constitutional question goes, in the case for going to war, is whether or not there was WMD. That's the question. Did he lie about that intentionally, overtly? And is that something that is an impeachable offense? And I think yes, if that's the case, that he did lie. And he did lie about some things. But you have to also consider the fact that the CIA itself and George's tenant, I think, believed very strongly that it was a slam dunk, and that's how he was pitching it to Bush. So the problem is that you have, I think, kind of a decentralization of blame a little bit. It's not so
I
much
can explain a little
Bush.
bit more about that particular detail.
I'm not a defender of Bush.
Well, yeah. No, I hear exactly what your point is, and I can clarify that a little bit. The CIA determined that they could not prove that there was weapons of mass destruction. The CIA determined that they could not prove that there was weapons of mass destruction. There were no claims of mass destruction that were verifiable. Everybody thought maybe they had something they couldn't prove that they had. Okay, the whole thing over Wilson and the aluminum tubes and coming from Niger, that was proved wrong before it came in. All the evidence that they said has turned out to be baloney. But what happens
biggest case of bullshit
is the CIA, right? The CIA would make its analysis, and then their analysis was put through the Office of Special Plans, which went through Douglas Fife was his name. He's one of the signatories to the Project for the American Century, a neocon Zionist. Okay, and so what he did was he changed the evidence that came out. The CIA said, this is the facts. And then Fife said, this is the facts, plus or minus, and changed their analysis. So then the CIA came out in an uproar after that, saying, don't mess with our analysis. This is the best analysis available. And they said, well, maybe. And Douglas
But it
Fife,
wasn't just the CIA, because it was the National Intelligence Estimate, which is a variety of agencies.
but
A lot
each
of
one
them
of those
said
were pressurized.
Right, that's fair.
And
That's fair.